So in this video, we're going to talk about some of the basic rules that you should know when it comes to hanging up your artwork. So for starters, let's talk about height. This is probably one of the most common mistakes that we see most people making when it comes to hanging up a piece of artwork. There's a lot of rules out there. I'm going to tell you all the rules that you need to know and forget about the rest of them, okay? So first and foremost, we want to make sure that the piece of artwork is hung at eye level. And of course, the question is, whose eye level and what is eye level? What part of the artwork should hang at your eye level? So here's how to break down that rule. First of all, we're going to say eye level is 60 inches high. That is 5 feet, 60 inches high. And as far as where that should actually land, that should land to the center of your piece of artwork. That is what your eye level is. So listen, if you're 6 feet tall or higher, you're going to want to make sure it is below your eye level when you're hanging it up. So take a measuring tape and measure from 60 inches from the ground to the center of that piece of artwork. As far as other height rules though, when it comes to hanging a piece of artwork like this above, say, a bed, a sofa, a console table like this one, you'll actually want to ensure that the piece of artwork is no more than approximately 6 to 8 inches above that item. So this is where you're going to be combining the eye level as well as that 6 to 8 inches. So if you find that eye level is only about an inch or so above the sofa or the console table, you will want to raise it up just a tiny bit. Now, one more measurement for you, and that's all the math you've got to do, I promise. The other thing you want to take into consideration is the scale of the piece of artwork. Whenever you are hanging a piece of artwork above, again, a console table, a sofa, or a bed, you want to ensure that the size of the artwork in terms of width spans at minimum 2/3 of the width of the item it is above. So obviously this one makes it just fine. Ideally, you do not want that piece of artwork to be larger than the item you have it above. So notice if the artwork was coming off to the side here of the console table, that would actually be too long for this piece. So 2/3 is the minimum. Make sure it doesn't go beyond the full width of it. So that's all the measurements you need to know when it comes to hanging up a piece of artwork. Now, what else do you need when it comes to hanging your art? Well, you're going to need some trusty tools, okay? So I'm going to tell you what my favorite tools are for hanging up a piece of artwork. Measuring tape is always a great idea. The measuring tape, we mainly use this for height as well as centering on the wall. So you may wish to measure the entire wall or measure the console table to find the center. A great trick for ensuring that you can hang that piece of artwork in the center is actually just a piece of painter's tape. Measure out to where the center is on the console table and place a piece of tape there. Place the same piece of tape or similar piece of tape on the piece of artwork as well and line those two up and you're guaranteed to get it centered. Nice, easy way to do it. Now, as far as other tools, of course, you're going to need a hammer. You will also need some hooks and nails, depending on the type of artwork that you're hanging and what it needs. So a sawtooth on the back of a piece of artwork would just need a simple nail, whereas if you have a D-ring, for example, or a wire, you will want to use a hook. You will also want to have a level, because of course we want to make sure that these all turn out to be level. And then this is my favorite tool. Now there are different brand names for this, different variations, but this one is one that we've been using at Beyond the Stage Homes since our inception. And it's tried and true and it works great. It's called the hang-in level. And what this does is we actually can put the piece of artwork onto this hook, hang it up on the wall. When we take the artwork off, we simply press down on that. And that marks the wall exactly where the nail needs to go. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of trying to measure things to figure out exactly where we want to put that nail. This takes a lot of that guesswork out of it. We hang up a lot of artwork in our company. And of course, we want to make sure that it is as easy as possible and as quick as possible. And so this has been an absolute lifesaver for us over the years. Now, another tool that you would want to have in your arsenal if you have plaster walls at your house is some simple good old-fashioned painter's tape. What you're going to do is put that painter's tape wherever you're going to be putting your nail and put the nail right through that painter's tape. That will help you to avoid chipping the wall, which is of course a common challenge when it comes to your plaster walls. Most plaster walls, just using a simple nail will work, but you want to make sure that you would avoid the chipping by using that painter's tape. Now, one more thing I want to cover, because we get this often, especially when it comes to staging. Sometimes you design a room so that you can actually hang up a TV on the wall, which is great. I will tell you that while we don't recommend having a TV in a bedroom when it comes to selling your home, I got a little confession to make. I love falling asleep to a TV. So I definitely have a TV in my bedroom. So you might want to put that TV on the wall. So it's not uncommon, especially in more modern houses today, to have the electrical for those TVs already connected to the wall. Now here's the thing, when it comes to selling the house, like I said, we don't prefer to have a TV in a bedroom for selling purposes because we're dealing with the aesthetics of things. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure that that electrical is easily accessible if someone does need to see it, but isn't taking away the focus of the room. So would you have ever known that behind this piece of artwork is the electrical? So don't be afraid to put a piece of artwork above it or on top of it. Generally, we recommend using a canvas for something like that for a couple of reasons. One is a canvas is nice and light and easy to take down should someone come into the house and want to actually see that electrical. As well, most canvases will have a hollow back to it. So when you have a cable sticking out like this, it won't have the artwork protruding from the wall to accommodate for that. So these are some of our basic tips for hanging up your artwork. Hope they've been helpful to you. Be sure to tune in and subscribe to our channel. I'm Shauna Lynn Simon of Beyond the Stage Homes. Have a good one.